Today we are going to see unit number 6, that is multi-threading, exception handling and applets of object-oriented programming, part 3. In this part we are going to discuss about different types of errors. So there are basically two types of errors. First one is compile time error and another is runtime error. So what is compile time error? We'll see the errors that are detected by the Java compiler during compilation time are called as compile time errors. When the compiler issues the errors, it will not generate the class file. The most commonly occurring compile time errors are missing semicolons, wrong spelling, missing brackets, of classes and methods, missing double quotes in the string, use of undeclared variables, use of equal to instead of double equal to, etc. etc. Now we'll see one simple example for compile time error. Here I have created one class compile error demo in which I have written the main function, and in main function I have printing one string by using system.out.println, and I have written Java hello Java programmers. In the output you can see there is error shown, which is compile time error, and you can see in system.out.println I have not written the ending double quotes, because of which the string is not ended properly, and due to which the error message is displayed. This is the example of compile time error. Now we'll see the another type, that is runtime error. What is the meaning of runtime error? Sometimes the program is free from compile time errors and creates a class file, but it does not yield the result as per our expectations. In such situation, we declare that the program has runtime errors. The runtime errors are basically the logical errors that get caused due to wrong logic. The most commonly occurring runtime errors are accessing the array elements which is out of the index, an expression divided by 0, trying to store a value into an array of incompatible type, passing parameters that is not in valid range, and converting invalid string to numbers. These are some basic errors that can occur at runtime. We'll see the example of runtime error. That is, I've created one class that is run error demo, and in which I've written the main function, and in main function I've declared three variables a, b, c, which is of integer type. Now I'm declaring the value of a and b, where a is 10 and b is 0. And in the third line I'm dividing the a divided by b, and the result will be stored into c, and here the class ends. In the output you can see the program is compiled properly, as there is no any syntax error, or I have given semicolons to each and every line, due to which the syntax or writing part of the program is absolutely correct. Therefore the code is compiled, therefore we doesn't get any compile time error. But we are getting error at runtime, because in the program we have used a divided by b, where the value of b is 0, and in mathematics we know we cannot divide any number with 0, which gives you a error. So this is a logical error, and this error has occurred at runtime. Therefore this is a very good example of runtime error. So to overcome such type of errors, we can use a try catch block. So the figure shows the syntax for try catch, where we use the keyword as try, and where we keep the code part which we want to execute, where we know an exception or error can occur. Another part of the syntax is catch block, and in this catch block we catch the exceptions which are generated in try block are thrown to catch block, and these exceptions are handled by the catch block. We'll see one example of this. The same example what we have seen earlier. Here, only in that example, I have written the try catch block, and in try block, as we have discussed earlier, the line which is through creating an exception or throwing an exception is written. Therefore, we have written C is equal to A divided by B under try block, which throws an exception. This exception is catched by the catch block, and the exception catched by the catch block is displayed by using system.out.println divide by 0. When the try catch block is executed, afterwards the normal execution of remaining part of program is done. Therefore, to show the execution of remaining part of program, I have used system.out.println, and where I am displaying the values of A and B. So at the output you can see whenever the execution starts in Java, which is from main, it comes to try block, and try block throws an exception which is catched by the catch block. Therefore, this is divide by 0 line is printed in the output. And after the execution of try catch block, the remaining part of the code is executed. Therefore, it is displaying the value of A and B. In this way, we can use try catch block. Now we'll see what is the meaning of finally keyword in exception handling. Even though there is an exception in try catch block, the statements assured by finally block are sure to execute. The same thing what we have seen in earlier program, the displaying the value of A and B, even though if there is any exception, then also these lines will be executed. In the same way, we can write these lines under finally block. These statements are sometimes called as cleanup code, and the below uh, diagram shows the syntax of finally keyword. We use finally keyword, and then the body part of finally is written. We'll see the example of this of finally block. Here I have created one class having word finally demo, in which I have written the main function. In main function I have declared two variables, that is which is of integer type, where A is 10 and B is -1. Then I have written one try block in which B is equal to A divided by 0. As we know in mathematics, that is, we cannot divide any number with 0. Therefore, an exception will be created in this try block because of this line, and this exception will be catched by the catch block. Therefore, the execution of catch block will occur, where I have written system.out.println in catch block and E, where E denotes the arithmetic expression. Even though this is arithmetic exception, the finally block will be executed. Therefore, I've used the keyword finally, and where I've used if else statement. If B is not equal to -1, then it will print as system.out.println finally block executes without occurrence of exception, or else part will be executed, that is finally block executes on occurrence of exception. As we know, that is the value of B is -1, therefore else part will be executed Therefore, finally block executes on occurrence of exception. In this way, we have seen the use of finally block in exception handling. Thank you. Hello friends, today we are going to see unit number 6